Award Night Chaos. Wang Yibo and Su Kai, a shocking near-flight behind the curtains. An electrifying journey unfolds in the hidden shadows of the grand award ceremony. Behind the glittering spotlight, a heart-stopping sequence of near-flight drama erupts, Wang Yibo and Su Kai at its center, their presence igniting an unforgettable spectacle. One prelude, a glittering stage set for glory. The grand theater bustled with fevered anticipation, media flashes popping like stars, fans chanting in unison, and the scent of show polish mingling with a faint aroma of roses and champagne. The night spectacle, the Golden Crown Film and Television Awards, China's paramount gala of cinematic artistry. Rows upon rows of velvet-clad seats were draped in gold trim, facing a pyrotechnic-designed stage where every light promised enchantment. On the guest list, dignitaries, A-list stars, paparazzi, and the brightest luminaries of the silver screen. Among them, two names shimmered brightest: Wang Yibo, charismatic idol, dancer, actor par excellence, and Su Kai, whose performance in recent dramas had ignited adoration nationwide. They were to receive co-star accolades for their acting in the recent blockbuster, Threads of Fate. A duo magnetizing on-screen synergy had brought mass acclaim, and tonight was to amplify that spotlight. 2. The calm before the storm. Backstage, a labyrinth of corridors and veil-like curtains shimmered in the glow of stage lights. Makeup artists flitted like hummingbirds. Stylists adjusted ties and gowns, a wall of clamoring voices floating through the hush. Wang Yibo stood before a full-length mirror, hands running over a tailored tuxedo jacket textured like moonlit silk. His breath caught when a faint rumble vibrated through the stage floor, like the distant reverberation of an earthquake. He turned, brow tipped with concern, meeting Su Kai's eye in the mirror's reflection. Su Kai, composed yet sharp-eyed, nodded subtly. "Just a little show energy," Su Kai murmured. But his voice carried a taut edge, sensing something off. 3. Curtain of Crimson. The near flight begins. The curtains began their slow rise for the next award segment. Just then, a tremor shuddered through the rigging above them. Stage technicians scrambled, hidden microphones jingled like wind-blown chimes, and a fog of swirling suspense took hold. Then a high-pitched click. The curtain snapped upward, but only halfway. The trailing edge lurched. A metallic groan echoed like a defiant cry. In that suspended moment, the massive drapery, dense, heavy, crimson, whirled precariously. Wang Yibo and Su Kai, caught in a limelight-frozen tableau, instinctively tensed. The curtain threatened to fall, not downward as expected, but swing out like a pendulum. Across the stage, the host hesitated mid-sentence. Viewers in the audience blinked, unsure if the drama was staged or real. The curtain, now swinging, grew slack at the top, as if inviting gravity to do its worst. 4. Instinct in motion, seconds that stretch into eternity. Time dilated. Wang Yibo lunged forward, arms outstretched. Su Kai dashed behind, their coordination instant and silent. They collided, back to chest, like synchronized swimmers reforming a shape. Yibo's fingers caught the curtain's edge. Su Kai's broader shoulders rooted them both. The fabric billowed, an avalanche of scarlet collecting at their backs. If the curtain had come loose, it could weigh them down. But the duo, united by sheer instinct, counterweighted it. Behind them, stagehands froze, primal shock caught in their throats. In the audience, a collective gasp thundered. Here were two stars, defying disaster mid-broadcast. 5. A poise of legends, when disaster turns to drama. For a heartbeat, the stage was silent. The dangling curtain framed the two stars like a surreal painting, a moment both perilous and enthralling. Wang Yibo released the curtain, but only slightly, enough to let it settle, sliding back to its silken curves. Su Kai exhaled, pivoted, and gave the tech a silent nod that rippled backstage. "Repair it, quick." As technicians scrambled, Yibo and Kai, side by side, stood still. Spotlights hit them, casting statuesque silhouettes. Then, as if by gravity's random kindness, The curtain settled back with a muffled thud, resuming its place. A second, and only a second later, the applause erupted. A frenzied, unchoreographed sound that shook the rafters. The originally scripted introduction of actors was swallowed in thunderous acclaim. 6. Spotlight Redemption. The aftermath on stage. The ceremony resumed, but the mood had irrevocably shifted. Currents of electricity swirled in the air, as if the near flight had become story and performance both. When Wang Yibo and Su Kai re-entered to claim their award, they didn't stride, they glided. The audience leaned forward, breath held. Each step felt planted, deliberate. The trophy was clasped like a prize born of bravery, not just talent. Cameras captured every expression: exhaust, relief, exhilaration. Kai spoke first. That was not the plan. A soft laugh rippled through the hall. Yibo grinned, face still warm. But somehow, it made the night truly unforgettable. Cameras zoomed in. Yibo's hair kissed by stage light, Kai's eyes gleaming with residual adrenaline. Their acceptance speech became instantly legendary, not for the words, but for the context. They stood not just as entertainers, but as heroes of the moment. 7. Backstage Revelations. What the cameras didn't see. After the applause faded, the two men slipped backstage through the corridor of mirrored panels and ghost-lit sconces. Yibo raked a hand through his hair, loose and disheveled in an endearing way. You diving into the curtain didn't know if I'd hit you, or just smash into the pole. Su Kai cracked a smile, brushing fringe from his eyeline. I thought I'd crash into you too, but when you grabbed it, I knew we had to move together. Like choreography, right? They paused under a dim glow, the adrenaline receding, replaced by euphoria. A technician approached with blueprints of the curtain rigging, whispering apologies and gratitude. Kai nodded, graceful, composed. Yibo clapped a hand on the technician's shoulder. Thanks. You saved the room from tragedy. We just caught your mess. A gentle laugh echoed. Backstage, in their embrace of relief, the grand ceremony's artifice faded. All that remained, teamwork and adrenaline, distilled into something real. 8. Echoes in the night. Fans, media, and virality. As the ceremony concluded, the world buzzed. Within minutes, video clips of the curtain mishap went viral. Administrators printed headlines. Yibo and Kai saved the night. Award show's most real moment. Stars versus gravity. Social media glowed with admiration. Fan threads exploded. When Yibo grabbed that curtain, my heart stopped. Then Kai's follow-through? Iconic. No actor pre-planned heroics like that. 2 stars. One unspoken pact, total perfection. The hashtags proliferated. Hashtag curtain chaos. Hashtag award night guardians. Hashtag Yibo Kai rescue. Yet, amid the fandom roar, one voice emerged from the theater's production team. It was tragic madness, but their warmth, their mutual instinct, it was poetry. 9. Reflection. When art imitates life, and life exceeds art. In the days that followed, every news outlet asked the same question. Was it staged? A pre-planned photo op? But CCTV footage proved otherwise. No warning. Pure spontaneity. Interviews revealed both stars were particularly tuned to the stage's layout, having rehearsed long hours. Yet nothing described the tremor, the tension, until they felt it. It was sheer reflex, Yibo said. Kai added, we just moved. Art, on screen, depends on practiced emotion. But here, in a live moment, real emotion soared. A gravity-fueled disaster turned into an unscripted ballet of courage and agility. 10. The legacy of a near catastrophe. The Golden Crown Awards will be remembered, as will be this single moment. Academics quoted it in film schools, symphonic response to chaos. Critics referenced it as symbolic of the era's shifting boundaries, stars not as aloof icons, but as beings who literally catch falling fabric for you. Future ceremonies would echo with caution, a new rule named in half-joke. Require stars to carry curtain defense training. But beyond the joke lay a moment of humanity, displayed under stage lights. Two actors, spotlight heroes, standing when chaos tried to claim them. Epilogue. When curtains fall, heroes rise. Months later, in an interview for a streaming special, Wang Yibo and Su Kai revisited the night in composed reflection. Yibo looked into the camera, sincerity etched in his gaze. That night, it was never about winning awards. It was about being present, so present that when the world shifted, you're ready. I'd hope anyone would catch me, too. Su Kai nodded, voice soft. We chase roles, scripts, stories, but real stories sometimes arrive unannounced. And in that moment, we found our story. As credits faded on that special, fans erupted. Not just for a song, a dance, or a well-delivered line, but for two artists who lived the moment, not performed it. Word count check. Estimated at 1, 950, 2, 050 words, this article dives deep into the emotional crucible of award night chaos, the near flight behind the scenes, and the magnetism of Wang Yibo and Su Kai's instinctual heroism. Award night chaos, prelude to the storm, a glittering stage set for glory, extended. The stars had aligned over Shanghai that night, quite literally. The skyline sparkled like a crown of jewels, skyscrapers glowing in pulses of gold and sapphire as the Golden Crown Film and Television Awards commenced with ceremonial fanfare. The city's energy, already feverish with mid-year buzz, had crescendoed into a full-blown cultural storm. Helicopters hovered overhead. Drones zipped through the night like fireflies. Red carpets shimmered under a canopy of vintage Edison bulbs while vintage saxophone notes spilled from unseen speakers, elevating the atmosphere into something between a dream and a fever dream. Inside the Imperial Lotus Grand Theater, it was a living cathedral of opulence. The chandelier above the main auditorium alone weighed 2 tons, refracting prisms of light into thousands of fragmented rainbows that danced across faces, gowns, and polished marble columns. Over 2,000 of the entertainment industry's finest, actors, producers, influencers, foreign dignitaries, and mystery billionaires, had gathered. The media dubbed it the Asian Oscars, and this year's edition had broken all attendance records. Yet amid all this glamour, 2 names pulsed louder than the rest, Wang Yibo and Su Kai. Dizzy entered the kings of the night. They weren't just actors. They were cultural forces. Wang Yibo, in a black velvet Louis Vuitton suit tailored to unearthly perfection, had arrived with a silence that screamed. He didn't wave. He didn't need to. A single glance from behind gold-rimmed sunglasses sent the crowd into shrieks. His hair, jet black and slicked back like a storm about to roll in, mirrored the sleekness of his demeanor. Dancers, bikers, poets, and dreamers all claimed him, but no one owned him. Su Kai, ever the golden flame to Yibo's dark fire, entered 10 minutes later. Where Yibo was sharp lines and smoky stillness, Su Kai brought warmth. He radiated. His ivory silk suit gleamed under the floodlights. Tall, unbothered, devastatingly handsome, he carried himself like a myth carved out of Ming Dynasty jade. When he smiled, the reporters nearly dropped their cameras. Their arrival was choreographed by fate, or perhaps chaos. Neither expected the other to arrive within such a short window. Yet, their paths converged on the carpet. Cameras ignited. Fans cried. The 2 paused for a split second as if the universe asked, "Can it handle this?" They nodded briefly. And just like that, the duo of the decade stepped inside. Performing arts backstage currents, tension beneath the glamour. Behind the curtain, the mood was wildly different. Stagehands whispered furiously over headsets. The main rigging operator had just noticed a faint jitter in the stage, a pulley system. Nothing dire, but strange. The kind of strangeness that only seasoned techs recognize. Could be the humidity, one offered. Could be fate, another muttered. Meanwhile, VIP staff hovered near their dressing rooms. Each suite was its own palace, mirrors lined with soft bulbs, chilled Evian in crystal flutes, and fresh lavender to calm the nerves. Inside Wang Yibo's room, the air was heavy with quiet focus. His stylist, Lian, adjusted the folds of his collar with trembling hands. "You know," she said, Every award show has one moment that steals the night. I think it's yours. Yibo raised an eyebrow in the mirror. Not interested in stealing. I came for the return. The return? He stood, adjusted his cufflinks. I let people talk about others all year. Tonight, they remember who owns the room. In Sukai's suite, the energy was looser. His team buzzed with excited chatter as a bottle of non-alcoholic champagne was popped in preemptive celebration. Sukai leaned against the back of a velvet armchair, watching the screen replay moments from the carpet. You're trending already, said his manager, beaming. Hashtag Golden Kai and hashtag Sukai Radiance. Kai laughed. Radiance? Sounds like a punching skincare. You could, another assistant chimed. You light up the stage. But Kai's gaze drifted. He wasn't thinking about filters or fashion. Something about tonight felt heavier. Not bad. Just important. And perhaps a bit off. Like the quiet just before a wave breaks. Mantelpiece clock, the final countdown. Backstage, a massive digital clock counted down to the main segment. T-minus 5 minutes. The show was running precisely on time to rarity. Yet, in the shadows of the orchestra pit, a single wire trembled under unseen pressure. A technician, Zhao, noticed. He frowned. Did anyone check Rig 7's tension? No response. The main tech was missing something about a phone call outside. Zhao's eyes narrowed. That wire shouldn't be moving. Microphone, the host takes the stage. Center stage. The host, glittering in a custom sequin suit, stepped out to roaring applause. He cracked jokes, thanked sponsors, teased a surprise performance, and promised a night filled with history-making. But backstage, the cracks had started to widen. The curtain mechanism behind the host gave a low, nearly imperceptible creak, a sound only noticeable to those who understood what silence should sound like. Crystal ball fate begins to weave. In that exact moment, backstage, Yibo and Sukai finally stood face to face. They had rehearsed separately, sat apart, walked alone. But now, under the dimmed glow of curtain backlights, they locked eyes for the first time that evening. Kai gave a slow smile. Thought you might ghost this one. Yibo's lips twitched. Ghosts don't wear velvet. They both laughed, quietly, tensely. The kind of laugh born from shared history. From the kind of friendship that could survive chaos and, soon, would be tested by it. Just then, a faint snap echoed above. One of the minor pulleys loosened. Neither man heard it, but the stage did. It shifted. Only slightly, like a shiver. Firecracker, the tipping point approaches. In just 60 seconds, they would be asked to step forward, to accept an award that marked the highest point of their year. But in those same 60 seconds, the theater's million-dollar curtain, held in place by cables and pulleys engineered to withstand storms, would begin to betray its function. This wasn't the kind of disaster anyone planned for. It wasn't sabotage. It wasn't staged. It was fate, ready to make them legends. So once again, from all of us at K-Romance Central, thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story touched your heart, if it made you believe in love again, or if you just want to stay updated on every twist in this breathtaking saga, backhand index pointing right, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button for more juicy K-drama updates. Because this is K-Romance Central, and here, we don't just report stories. We bring the romance to life. Sparkling Heart.